Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Smokes. Welcome back to Smokes World. Give me the dap. Boom! And we back at it with another interview today. We have our second only female on this show, bro. You know what I mean? We have to give it up to the female artist, so I'm glad that we're doing this, you know? I'm glad we're doing this. She goes by the name Brianna Rios.
Right, yeah.
Singer out of Odessa, Texas.
Correct.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really, really good. Like, is this your first... Oh, wait. I've interviewed you before, actually.
Right. At the car show.
Was that your first time?
My first time with you, yes, but in general, no. I've had other interviews, like, I think on CBS and then on PBS.
Oh, you've been on the news?
Yeah, I've been on the news
That's
when I
dope.
was like 14, and then I was on PBS for a Christmas special. You know, that Christmas special they did? I think it's filmed somewhere, like, around here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been on the news a little bit. That's cool.
Uh-huh.
How old are you?
I'm currently 23, and my birthday's in June, so I'll be 24 then.
Dope. How long have you been doing this?
Oh, okay. So, singing on stage, like professionally, I guess. I didn't really start till I was 12, but like I started singing on stage in front of other people when I was like 8.
Oh, really? That young?
Yeah. When I was little, I always knew I wanted to do
Who
this.
encouraged you to sing? Like, who got you into it? You just started doing it by yourself? Or what?
I listened to a lot of Janet Jackson and a lot of Christina Aguilera when I was little. Janet Jackson's Pleasure Principle music video, I used to like rewind it over and over and be like, wow, I want to be just like her. So that's why.
That's dope. Janet Jackson. That's cool. And so I know that you're a big fan of Shakira.
Oh yeah.
Was she a big help too?
She's my beloved, yes. I always tell everybody she's my mother. She just doesn't know me, but she's my mother.
She's your mother?
Yeah, and I'm Mexican.
So like she influenced you a lot.
Oh,
like,
yeah, for
singing
sure,
that.
yeah. So, singing in Spanish is a different thing. When I was younger, I didn't want to sing in Spanish at all. And because I don't know if it's just like a me thing that I've noticed, but I feel like a lot of women here in Texas, when they start singing in Spanish, they automatically go, oh, you're like Selena. Especially me being so young. They're like, oh, she's Selena. And I'm like, no, I'm different. I'm different.
I was gonna ask you, like, why not Selena? But that's what. That's actually true. Everybody compares all Chicana, female Chicanos to Selena.
And she's amazing. Don't get me wrong, she's amazing. She has influenced me in some way, shape, or form. Obviously down to the way I dress and some aspects of my career and whatnot. But Shakira was the one who I really started learning Spanish from. I would watch her interviews in Spanish, and then I would listen to her music in Spanish, and I'd be like, okay, so I can do that too. So my Spanish isn't that great, but it's good enough to where now I can write music in Spanish.
That's dope. Like my Spanish is pretty rough too. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, because we grow up in here and
Right.
with English speaking schools, and our parents expect us to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
I remember I used to go to Mexico every summer. I'll learn Spanish really great. Come back and I'll lose it all.
Yeah, and my thing is it's a lot of slang terms that are different here than in Mexico. And then I have coworkers that are Puerto Rican as well. So shout out to Cynthia and Rafa. So they also taught me different ways to speak Spanish.
So are you trying to be a Spanish artist?
So I like to consider myself a pop star in general. Like I said, I love Janet Jackson.
So you have English music?
Yeah, so I have English music. I'm working on more English music, but my main focus is going to be Spanish. So I don't want to limit to myself to just
don't box yourself in, of course. Yeah, you wanna do everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got lots. Only advice I could give you, because I've been in the game for about 10 years, right? I've done shows, I've put on big hip-hop fests, I've done cyphers, I've done it all for a while. And I stay in the genre, one or two genres.
Yeah.
There's artists out there that like to do 3 or 4 genres, and they just don't know what to do to themselves, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not building a foundation that way.
Exactly.
Stay with 1 or 2 genres and build that foundation and build that fan base. Because say that you're making rap music, right? And then one day you switch to country music, well, all your rap fans are gone.
Yeah, they're like, what the heck?
Now you gotta build a new fan base,
really,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So that's crazy. But I wanted to ask you, I saw you perform at the Lowrider car show, right, in Odessa?
Right.
Shout out to Rudy Payan. He's the one that was running, he was putting people on, whatever. Mm-hmm. But I saw you performing, you were dancing, you were doing a routine, you look like a performer up there. You look pretty good.
Thank you.
No, you did really good. Me and my wife were actually there. We enjoyed it. How did that come about? Do you practice a lot? Do you rehearse a lot?
Oh yeah. Specifically my heels. I don't know if you can see them on frame, but I do. I wear a lot of high heels, especially my day-to-day wear. This isn't usually my everyday wear. Normally I'll wear you ever seen the movie Clueless? I usually dress like that, but I always pair it with the tallest heels that I could find, so I can practice walking in them, and it translates to me dancing in them, and it just makes everything so much easier. But yeah, I do.
Gotcha. Yeah. So is it like around here is a lot of males doing music?
Yes.
Like I think that show, like it was you and one or two other females, right?
Right.
That
Right.
night. How does that feel? Like, being surrounded by men all the time in the music industry.
Well, I mean, so a lot of people don't know this unless they know me personally, but I also like have a degree in what is it, criminal justice, like undergraduate for law. And so I also want to be a lawyer one day. Eventually, like when I'm like, oh, I'm tired of music. I'm tired. I'm bored now. So now I want to go be a lawyer. So that's also a very like male-dominated field.
Yeah.
And how I feel about that is like I just have to be better. Like I have to put in twice the work, and I know it sucks that
Shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that I have to, but I know I do. I know I do. I know I have to always present myself in a way that's like shiny and plasticky and kind of new. You know what I mean? So I just. I don't know how to explain it really. I just know that I have to, and I'm willing to. If that makes sense. Like by any means necessary.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. I could see it in you. I could see like you're willing to go the extra mile, like to get shit done.
yeah, no. So sometimes when we have rehearsals, like with the band, the Texicans, right? So sometimes I sing with them.
I've heard like very little about them, but
yeah. So sometimes I sing with them, and like I get frustrated if things aren't exactly the way I'm doing it, like not the way I'm doing it, but like the way that I expected them to go. And so I'll get frustrated and I'll have to leave. And I'm like, okay, I have to leave because I'm very much a perfectionist when it comes to music and stuff like that. Or like when I hear final mixes and I'm like, okay, I don't like this, I don't like that, please change it. And I try to be as nice as I can, because the thing about that is like with men, they're allowed to be assholes, but we are not really. The moment I feel like I assert myself in a space, oh, you're just a bitch, you're a diva. Okay, then I'll be that because I want this done.
That's dope, but you need to have that around here.
Yeah, that's been my goal since I was little. Like, okay, so when I was in like the second grade, I think our teacher had us do an assignment saying, what do you want to be when you grow up? I stood my happy little ass in front of that class and I was like, when I grow up, I'm going to be rich and I'm going to be famous and I'm going to be just like London Tipton and Hannah Montana. And I was like, and I did. And I walked off and everybody was like, okay.
You said, how old were you when you said that?
Man, when was that? Second grade? So I had to have been like at least 7 or 8.
Okay. So where were you born and raised at?
I was born and raised in Odessa, Texas.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right. So how was it like growing up in Odessa, Texas? What side of Odessa?
I would say around like the center of Texas, leaning more towards the west side.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was it like growing up there in Odessa?
Oh, okay. So a lot of people don't know this, but like we used to have like foil on the window sills. Like we we weren't poor, but we weren't like well off enough to where my mom like didn't have to work. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like it was kind of rough. Like I remember we used to eat hot dogs with like the slices of the bread.
Slices
like
of
we
bread, yeah.
didn't have buns.
Getting hot dog buns.
Yeah. Like it was kind of rough. But I did have a happy childhood. I will say that I did have a happy childhood because my parents did make sure that we never went without. So we got a lot of hand-me-downs. But as a child, when you get that stuff, you're like, oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was raised pretty much the same way. We weren't rich, didn't have the best stuff, but I had a very good childhood, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So at least that, you know what I mean? We didn't have the four-wheelers and big toys and fancy vacations, but we had very great memories,
I remember my mom took us to Disneyland when I was younger, but it's because she worked like nonstop, literally nonstop for like a whole year and saved every
up
penny.
for it.
Yeah.
See, my mom was very good with money too.
Yeah.
She saved up and then she was able to get us a house, later on. But yeah, it's good to learn how to manage your money at a young age.
Oh yeah.
Were you taught that?
I would say so because my mom would be like, oh, okay, so if you get this wallet, do you realize? Because I've always been that type of person to be like, oh, I want this purse, I want those shoes. I've always been like that ever since I was little. So we'd go to like Walmart or Target or something, and I'd be like, oh, I just got birthday money, let me buy this purse with it. My mom would be like, you do realize if you buy this purse, you won't have money to put in it. Like, the light bulb's not on, and I'd be like, I don't know, I guess you're right, Mom. So,
when did you find out that you were like you had a talent for singing? Like you had this.
Okay.
When did you really know it?
I was again. All of this happened when I was like.
Yeah, I know you start.
At a really young age, so we were.
When did you really feel like you could like really maybe excel?
Yeah, no, we were at Dollar Tree one time. It was me, my nana, and my mom. And Donna Summer's, I think, Last Dance came on. And I was singing to it. And one of the ladies that was there that was shopping, she turned to me and she was like, "Oh my gosh, your voice is so beautiful." And I was like, "Thank you." And I was like, "So let's dance. Let's dance." And so we were in the car and my mom's like, "No, do you really want to hear her sing it?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure." So she was like, "Okay, when we get in here, I'm going to turn it on and you're going to sing for your nana." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I was singing it and she was like, "Oh my God, you have a gift." And then like after that, I did some talent shows and then I met Mary Wilson at the Supremes, like Diana Ross and Supremes, and she pulled me aside personally. She was like, "You have a gift. You have a gift, and I hope that you continue to use it." And after that, I was like, "Hey, nobody can tell me shit then." I mean, they can think what they want. I really don't care. But you know what I mean? Like, that was my defining moment.
That's dope. That's dope to hear. So you've performed. Like I went down your social media a little bit, and I've seen you perform. You performed a lot, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Are you getting used to it? You're not. Are you still nervous when you go to perform on stage and stuff like that?
I'm only
or are you getting
nervous.
Over it?
I'm only nervous if like I feel like I haven't rehearsed enough.
Got you. How important is that to be prepared?
110%. It's all or nothing. Like if I go up there and I feel like, oh shit, I forgot the words, I'm like, I just want to get off. I want to get off. I don't want to do it anymore. But you know,
rather get off and not do a bad performance, right?
Yeah, I'd rather give everything I have, and it be the way that I expect it. I'd rather be my best and everything I have than half-assing something and just oh my God, I don't even want to be here. Because at that point, why even show up? So are you Mexican American? I am.
That's what you are. How hard is it? Because we have parents that are either from Mexico or they're like the second generation or whatever, but they're still heavily influenced by the Mexican culture, right?
Right.
How hard is it for you, like, to blend cultures? Like, I'm sure you grew up with some white friends in school, and it's different. There's American culture, Mexican culture. How do you blend those together?
That's a great question. Okay, so actually, when I grew up, the school I went to, it was more, like I said, a group kind of like on the west side of town. So there's actually more like Mexican and like black students than there were actually white students. Like I don't think it was until I got to junior high that I realized there was like more white people in Odessa. It was like culture shock, like a huge one. So for me, that kind of took some time to like develop that, like how to transcend. So I would always sing like a couple Spanish songs, but then I'd be like, oh, but here's some country songs that sound like Tejano songs. So that way, white people could turn up too. And they love disco. Yeah. So I was like, okay, so if I make a disco song in Spanish, you can kind of blend them a little more. So
that's got to be hard.
Yeah, kind of, because I hear certain songs and I'm like, oh, this would sound great, and so I start writing it in Spanish. And I'm like, okay, but let me see if I can write something to it in English as well. And I was like, okay, maybe Spanglish, and I'm like, I don't know, because some people don't really care for Spanglish like that. Yeah,
got you. Do you write your own music?
I do.
Yeah, all of it. You believe in being a good writer?
No, I don't think I'm a good writer, but I think I'm well enough right now to where I could improve. There's always room for improvement.
Got you. You think it's a good idea for any kind of singer to like start off doing cover songs?
I think so.
To do covers at first to get known for your voice, and then.
Yeah, I think so, because at first, well, in my case at least, I was a literal child when I started. So like, I'm not Michael Jackson, and I've never claimed to be Michael Jackson. I never claimed to be like blah 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 like Luis Miguel, none of that. Yeah. So in my case at least, I felt like it was the best case scenario to do that. So I could have always like taken up like the higher note, like up the octave, or I could have added like extra runs here and there and could make it bigger and all this stuff. So I think so.
I've seen you do some mariachi. Do you love doing that?
I do. I really do.
It was sounding really pretty. The one that I heard, it sounded really, really good. Like, was that something you did when you were younger?
Sometimes I would actually get hired to go to like people's birthday dinners or something, and then to serenade them. Yeah.
You used to do that?
I used to do that when I was younger.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And you don't do it? It's just like.
Oh no, I do. So I'm still taking bookings for that. I do.
It's okay, still getting booked for it. All right.
It's just now that I'm an adult and life has punched me in the gut a couple times. I have to work now. Can you fucking believe it? I'm just kidding.
Adulting, right? God dang it.
So now that I don't really have as much time, like I like to focus on like first come first serve in my case. Like if somebody says, hey, I have this going on, and I'm like, oh, we're already committed to, you know, so-and-so's like event, I'm going to so-and-so's event because they already put their deposit and they already have that going. But no, I've always been open to doing that, and I probably would, you know, do more in the future.
That's dope. That's dope as hell, man. What's your, like, so like, you say you write your own music. What's your writing process? Like, do you have to like be really, like, what is it? Like,
it's chaos. Okay, so sometimes I'll write the whole thing. Sometimes I'll sit there and I'll write the whole thing. Like when I was 18, 19, so there was this boy that I had this huge crush on. And of course I could never tell him. So I wrote this whole song for him, and I was like, with these two hands I give the world. And I like literally like had the melody, the harmonies, and I was like, okay, so I just gotta put lyrics to this. And it's still chilling in my closet, like to this day. I just have to get it produced.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's, hey, listen to the song I made you. I'm like, okay, and I'll listen to it, and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna have to listen to that a couple times before I get any type of inspiration, and then I'll be in the shower, and I'll be like, oh shit, that's it. So I'll like run out and like with my little, and it's mainly like lyrics and melodies, but
that's dope.
It's so chaotic, and then I'll go back to it the day later, and I'm like, okay, I don't like that. I scribble stuff out and like rework it, and then by the time, like if you could see my journal, I would open it and show you. I should have brought it. I would open it and show you, and it would just like scribble. Okay, this actually goes here. This actually goes there. So then at
like it's
end,
unorthodox.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. So at the end, I'll just have to like rewrite it and like, okay, this is the finished product.
Gotcha. It sounds like how Eminem writes, right? Like he writes different verses on the pages and puts them together at the end like a puzzle.
Pretty much.
That's crazy. That's like a organized mess.
Yeah, I would say. I would definitely say that.
Organized to you, but a mess to everybody else, right?
Oh, I can't read this. I'm like, oh, that's good because it's not for you to read.
There you go. How do you feel about? Do you know any other artists around this area?
Around this area, I know a couple. So I did a show with my friend Chris Aguilar a while back.
Yeah. Chris. He reached out to me actually not too long ago. So how was that?
It was great. So I actually sang backup for him, and then I opened for him that night. That was so much fun. That and that show with him, and then there's another girl named Joanna Herrera, and her I usually sing with like at the car shows and things like that. We usually sing like that together. Like she'll go before me or I'll go after.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know a lot of Mexican American artists. That's crazy.
Oh,
like
yeah.
singers. I know a lot of hip hop artists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like singers, that's crazy. Who else?
And there's Maritza Marquez. I know her. Like we usually do like singing as a group. Like we'll take turns. Okay, you go first, or you go first, or you go first this time. So there's them, and like I said, Chris. And then I know of well, there's JC, and he's usually my producer. So I don't know.
Oh, he makes beats?
Oh yeah. So I don't know if you consider him like an artist. I would.
Yeah. If he's a producer, he's an artist.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But he makes beats like
he makes some of mine. Yeah.
Oh really? That's dope. I didn't know that. I was talking to him at the car show. I didn't get to know much about him. We need to chop it up too later on. That's cool. So I think he told me he knew Jeremy.
Yes.
From JS Studios. Right? Did you ever go over there when it was there?
I went once.
It shut down. You know that?
No, yeah, I did.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
They were like the biggest record label that Millen and Odessa has ever seen.
I know.
Like nobody saw something like that. When he came I interviewed him.
Right.
He came out of nowhere. Like he came out of nowhere and had this big old freaking studio. I to be honest, I thought he was like in a cartel or something. I thought he was like a Mexican.
No, mama.
I swear to God. I was like, what the hell is this? Who is this dude? He got to be like cartel or something. But very nice guy. But like, like everybody was tripping. All the artists from this area were like, this is a big time. I walked in for the first time because they invited me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was nice.
And I was like, what? And now they hear that it's gone. And then I think he got robbed from equipment or something like that. Like, it's horrible. That sucks. But still, you know what I mean? We still have a lot of artists here. Because I think a lot of people were down because that happened. That his studio's gone. Everybody loved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was making Millen Odessa seem official.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you feel about the music scene in Millen Odessa? Like, do you think people aren't watching us?
No, I think they are. I really do think they are because, we've had, not like music, how do I say this? We've had people, come out of this area, actors and different things like that. So I think so. I think so.
I hope so. That's what I'm trying to do. That's why I have this platform. I'm trying to get people's eyes on more artists from this area because we have a lot of talent around here. You know what I mean? And I don't like to focus on the negativity. I like to focus on the positivity, the positive people, the stars, people like you with the great personality. People no, for real. That's why we're doing this interview because I got a good vibe from you the first time. So I feel like we should do this. I don't just let anybody on my platform. You can ask anybody.
Mm-hmm.
People are really working hard and people who really got it. They're on this show. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your plan for the next couple years? Where do you want to take it?
So I already have a plan for this year specifically. Like I said, I'm already working on new music. Most of it's going to be in Spanish. There's going to be like maybe 1 or 2 English songs. So I plan to put out more singles and an EP and a song for a holiday that rhymes with shnishmish. So because I also grew up listening to like a lot of Mariah Carey, and one thing I've always admired about her is I was like, oh, she made a Christmas song, and like now, like every year it doesn't matter what she's doing, everybody's like, oh, Mariah Carey has a Christmas song,
Yeah.
So I gotta have a Christmas song. Like Regina George, I saw Mariah Carey have a Christmas song, so I had to go out and write a Christmas song.
Yeah. That's dope. Is your family real heavily into Christmas?
Not into Christmas, but they support me in whatever I do.
Oh, okay.
So like it doesn't matter what I say. They'd be like, oh yeah, I think that's a good idea. Like my parents literally would like drive me anywhere, like for a show or something.
So what's your religious background?
I grew up Catholic.
So like you're a hardcore Catholic, Mexico Catholic, or American Mexican Catholic?
Well,
there's a difference.
I mean I grew up Catholic.
Did they do a rosary and all that?
When times get tough, for sure.
Yeah. My dad was Catholic. My mom's apostolic. When I hate when people say like, "Are you Catholic or Christian?" But they're the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they both believe in Christ.
I had a teacher actually, I think in the 5th grade. She was like, "If you're Catholic and you say you're Christian, I'm gonna slap you." And I was like, "So do it." Like I don't know.
What's some advice you can give younger artists that are just starting out? Like, what's some stuff that you don't think maybe you shouldn't have done, or some things that you should have done?
So some things I shouldn't have done. I personally think that I shouldn't have doubted myself at like such a young age, because when you're so young you're barely like getting into the swing of things. Like people can tell you all they want, like, oh, you have a gift, but if you don't believe it, nobody else is. Other people are not going to be so inclined to want to look after you too, if that makes sense. Not so much look after you, but like support you in what you do. And I think that would be the biggest thing. Like, if I could go back in time and be like, hey, like, just put that song out. Don't throw it away. Don't throw it away. Go find people who would be able to help you. I'm sure, Mary Wilson of the Supremes says you have a gift. Fuck what anybody else thinks. Go. You believe you have a gift. Fuck it out. Like, just go. Just go do it. And I think that'd be my biggest regret, would be not doing this sooner.
You're still really young, so you can still take that advice. See, I'm a whole decade older than you, but I just want to say it's really important to really not waste any time.
Yes.
Like, don't waste any. It's a Sunday.
Because time is money.
It's a Sunday right now.
Right.
We're here on a Sunday. Like,
right.
We're crazy, right?
Right.
But people outside, people are looking in, think we're crazy, but we're not, because we have a dream. There's something that we have a passion about. See, like me, I think about this day and night. There's sometimes where I go to work and I slept an hour the night before because I'm so excited and I'm thinking. I can't stop thinking. It's a passion of mine. But look, I wasted a lot of time. Like in my early 20s, I was getting into a lot of trouble. I was selling drugs, doing drugs, running around with these guys. But I always knew I had a different purpose, And I tried to always do it. Every now and then I would try to make music, go to a show, throw a show, but I always got pulled back in with my crowd that I was hanging around with, you know what I mean? But once I got over them, the whole 10 years later when I was like 26, 27, once I got rid of them and I moved on and I focused on this and I started having more accomplishments and meeting new people and having more energy and getting things done and, having these accolades, and getting recognized by the city. I did a song for the Odessa, Texas, got 100,000 views,
Right.
For the city of Odessa. I wrote a song for them and performed it. It was dope.
Right.
Did a music video and everything. So I wasted all those years. If I did all this, what I'm doing now, when I was in my early 20s, imagine how far I would be. Imagine. I'd be probably way bigger than I am. I wasted so many years of my life, and I regret it every single night that I go to bed. I regret it. It kills me all the time that I wasted. So don't waste a day.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Oh, well.
Do it. Take advantage of every...
Yeah, my parents, my family, they always laugh at me because I wake up at like noon sometimes and like, why do you get up so late? And I'm like, or why do you get up so late? And I'm like, 'cause I go to bed late because I'm up writing music.
Yes.
Like a crackhead at like 5 a.m. and I'm like trying to be quiet, humming it. I'm like, okay, that sounds good.
Do you come alive at night? That's when I come alive.
Yeah, I'm pretty much a night owl.
Me too. And nighttime,
yeah, like,
I think...
you better not talk to me before like 12 p.m. because like... I'm like either half asleep or I'm like barely getting my day started. If I don't have like my makeup done and stuff, like I'm not ready. Not ready for my day.
They say geniuses are night owls.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah.
I'd feel like a dumbass being up this late all the time.
Yeah, for real. I hope it's for something, right?
Right?
Oh, your album, La Traición.
Oh, it's my single. Yeah.
It's a single.
Right.
Oh, my bad.
La
I
Traición.
read it wrong. My bad. I thought it was an album. Single that's coming out. It came out?
Yeah, it's out already.
Okay, it's out right now.
Uh-huh.
And that means what? Betrayal somewhat?
Yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So what happened?
Okay.
Let me
tell you the story. Okay, so when I was in high school, I dated this guy that was not good to me. He was not good to me. And so I cheated on him. Like, because he was so mean to me. And, like, he just did me so wrong in so many ways. Like, he never cheated on me, but, like, you might as well have cheated on me at that point. You know what I mean? Like, you did me so fucking dirty. You made me look so fucking stupid. You might as well have just done that. You know what I mean? So I did. So I did it first, obviously. And that's what that song is about. It's like my thought process of like what's happening. That's why when I says, él no me ama como quiero, you know, like he doesn't love me the way that I want him to. Because he was a shitty ass boyfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much like my thought process. And that's where
And
that
you got
came
back
from.
at him by cheating on him.
Yeah. And then I left him.
You left.
Because I'm a Gemini. You know, that's what Gemini do.
Yeah,
like,
okay. All right.
String it long.
Yeah. Gotcha. So the song came out when?
Friday.
Friday?
Uh-huh.
All platforms?
All platforms.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
So check it out. It's Brianna Rios. Say it again, the name?
La Traición.
I was before we did this interview, I was practicing saying that word like 5 times and shit, and I still can't get it. But La Traición from Brianna Rios on all platforms. Y'all go check that out. It's gonna be crazy. I got a couple more questions, so stay with us. What do you think about Andrew Tate?
I think he's a piece of shit.
Piece of shit, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Didn't he get like arrested in Romania for like trafficking?
I think they let him out, though. I don't know. It's rumored.
Like human trafficking.
I think he's still in there, but...
Yeah, and I think that's inexcusable.
Yeah.
I've actually dealt with someone like Andrew Tate, and that's literally the reason why I decided that I wanted to go into law one day.
Really?
Because I was like, you know, if this shitty stuff like that happens to me, that's not going to happen to anybody else. And if it does, you know, that's where I come in.
Wow. So are you currently going to school for law?
Hell no, I finished my bachelor's like in 2021.
You got your bachelor's already?
I finished my bachelor's.
So,
but all my family was like, are you going to get your master's? And I was like, later. You know, I'll do that later. Right now I want to be in music. And I was like, hell no. Like, I just finished. You don't want me to already come back? Fucked up.
That's crazy, man. That's dope.
I actually have 2 degrees.
2 degrees?
Yeah, I have one in like law enforcement. Because at first I wanted to be a cop, and I was like, you know, not really. So then I changed it to law. So I have a degree in like law enforcement, and then I have a degree in like undergraduate for law.
Wow, that's very impressive. Mexican-American artist that's a lawyer. Look at that, man, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad we got to do this interview. This is crazy.
Like the Mexican Kim K. Only better. No, I'm just kidding.
There you go. There you go. More power to you, for real.
Chris, please don't sue me.
But yeah, Andrew Tate, man, he was bashing women left and right. I can't see why people were like backing him up at all. Like they said he had valid points, but like he would try to get people to agree with him because he would like bash women that, you know, that were probably doing like crazy stuff, right? But he was just using that to make people agree with him on certain topics. But then he'll go and bash women for no reason. You know what I mean?
He would make like blanketed statements like he would just be like, oh, all women are whores. And you're like, okay, I mean, you know, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. But at the same time, like women, I don't know if you're aware of the Madonna whore complex.
Mm-mm.
So that's basically saying, like, if you're a Madonna in, like, some men's eyes, they can only see you as innocent. They can only see you as innocent, and they can never find you sexually attractive. But if you're seen as a whore, you're only sexually attractive, and you can never be seen as innocent. So when he makes blanketed statements like that, it just pretty much, like, just, you know, makes that whole Madonna whore complex, like, even more ingrained into society. You could be respectable, you know, you can always be multifaceted. Women are multifaceted just as much as men. Like, you know, I'm obviously not going to wear a suit to go to bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that whenever his message was harmful in that way.
Yeah. That's dope. You know, when I first got with my wife, you know, it was just 16 years ago. You know, I had a different mindset. You know what I mean? And I'm glad to say that my mindset has changed tremendously, and I just only hope that I can raise my daughter to think like the way you're thinking. You know what I mean? So I want my daughter to see this. Yeah, I want her to be a strong, proud Mexican-American woman. You know what I mean? So
right. Don't take no
dope.
Shit from no Andrew Tate-looking little boys.
Yeah, motherfuckers.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, straight up. What do you have to say, like, if it was my daughter, you know, Mexican-American little girl, what do you got to say to the little girls out there? Is there any message you want to give them?
You're beautiful. You're beautiful in the skin that you were given, and you know, all those characteristics or those like ugly traits that they make fun of you for. When I was in the 7th grade, they always made fun of me for like my arm hair or whatever, because you know that's like a trait, you know, characteristic that some of us have.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah, my
You're
wife
beautiful.
got yeah.
You're beautiful in the skin that you're born in, and your culture is just as beautiful as you are. Because I can't tell you how many times, like, when I was in high school, when I would come in, I'd be listening to Shakira, I'd be listening to Selena, I'd be listening to Luis Miguel, and I would hear, this is in Mexico. Like, if you love it that much, go back. Like, no, you belong here. You deserve to take up space, and you should.
That's beautiful. That was beautiful, for real. Childhood memory. Look into that lens.
My favorite childhood memory.
Yes.
I don't know. I have a bunch. Okay, so maybe... So I have 4 sisters. I grew up with 4 sisters, and we all shared one room. And I think my favorite childhood memory would be whenever we would watch the Michael Jackson music videos and we would learn all the dances. And to this day, if you play the Thriller music video behind us, we could follow it like step by step. I think that's like one of my favorite childhood memories.
Awesome. So to all the people who've doubted you since you're a little girl until now, all the bad boyfriends, all the bad friends, and all the people who doubted you, what do you have to say to them?
Suck my... No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks,
Talk your shit.
No, I'm just kidding. Just thanks, I guess. Actually, so here's a story of mine. I had a manager at Synergy. I'm not going to say her name, but I remember we watched Bohemian Rhapsody, you know, the story about Freddie Mercury and Queen and all that. And I was like, wow, like, this is going to be me one day. And she was like, you work at a movie theater. And I was like, okay, you bet that. So I've always told myself when I win my first Grammy, I'd be like, and this is for, again, I'm not going to say her name, but for not believing in me, because you're the reason why I decided I was actually going to push even harder, girl. So thanks. Because every time y'all stream my music to talk shit about me, like, y'all just benefiting me anyways. I'm still getting paid, bitch. No,
yeah, there you go. Hell yeah. Talk your shit, for real. This has been a great interview. I really appreciate you for coming on my show, Brianna. Thank you so much. It was very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet JC. I met him I met y'all before already, but nice to meet y'all again, and to really chop it up and to really get to know y'all more. This has been a great conversation, guys. If y'all want to see this happen again, if you want to like see on the show again, give me 100 likes, give me 50 comments, run it up, and let us know what you thought about this interview. You know, let us know, what you thought about, Brianna, about her music. I'll put a link to her music in the description. All right, so go check it out. Brianna, do you have anything else to say to the supporters, to the people out there?
I love you all. Thank you.
Good deal. Thank you so much for being here. It was dope. Guys, you get your merch right here, Smokes World right here. Get your merch. It'll be in the description, the website where you can get all your merch at. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, do all that great stuff. Guys, thank you for tuning into Smokes World, and thank you for chilling with your boy Smokes. We out.